To another day of learning at Southgate. Looking at our jobs for reading today, we get to focus on using a reading strategy to read new words, really focusing in on using our vowel owl strategy. We can use all of them in our reading. We're really focusing in today on that one. We're also going to work on gaining information from a nonfiction text. Remember, nonfiction means real, true information, facts. When we're done, your activity will be to draw and label a seahorse, because our book is about seahorses, going back to this video for reference. So you can rewatch this video, pause it to be able to see the pages more and gain more information by looking at it again yourself. Before we even get started with our book, we are going to start with an activity that gets our brain thinking about what we already know. You might remember seeing something called a KWL chart last year. We're going to focus today on the K and the W. The K is what do you already know? And then the W is what do you want to know? So just by looking at the front cover here, this is called Seahorses. We see some pictures of seahorses. We don't see a whole lot of other information yet. I want you to pause the video and think about what do you already know about seahorses? That's the K. What do you already know? And what do you want to know? What are some questions that you have? Maybe our book will answer some of them. So I want you to pause the video. You can either just say it to yourself, think about it for yourself, or if you have a family member around, you can talk with them. What do you already know? What do you want to know? Go ahead and pause it now, and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Welcome back. I hope you got to share some things that you already know and some things you want to know about seahorses. As we are reading today, remember we are going to be using our vowel owl strategy a lot. With our vowel owl, we're looking for patterns that we know. These are some of our most common patterns. Things that make the vowels say their names, and sometimes that the vowels make different sounds. Like when there's an R after them, they make different sounds. And sometimes when there's two letters together, O-I, O-Y, they say oi. O-U, O-W say ow. A-U, A-W say aw. And O-O can say ooh or We'll practice these more and more throughout the year. But today we're going to focus in on noticing some of those patterns and having them help us figure out new words in our book. Right away in Seahorses, we get to see an R-controlled vowel. We'll write some of them up here. We won't write every single word that we find, but we see an R-controlled vowel. We have C. It actually has a long vowel too. It could go in both places, but we're going to focus on the OR pattern that it has. The compound word, C, horses, but OR says or. True Real Information by Sylvia M. James. What is a seahorse? There are many kinds of fish. A seahorse is a kind of fish. There are about 32 kinds of seahorses. Here are some of them. We have a pygmy seahorse. Pygmy has a long vowel sound at the end. Pygmy. The Y at the end often makes an E sound. Pygmy seahorse. We'll talk more about what that means here in a little bit. A pygmy seahorse. Tiger tail seahorse. Ooh, this time we have an ER ending. Tiger. That ER makes the sound. Tiger seahorse. A giant Pacific seahorse. A spotted seahorse. Barber seahorse. White seahorse. A long, this one's a big word, but I see it has our OW pattern. I'm going to write it up here so we can figure it out together. See, it has an ed ending. So even though we're focused on our vowel owl, still going to use that N means eagle. Cover that up. See if you can figure out just the base word. Help me sound this one out. Out. Keep your voice going. Let's try that again. Out. Snout. Snout. Oh, that's like a pig has a snout. It's another type of describing word for a nose. Usually it's a little bit more flat nose. So it's a snouted. Snouted. A long-snouted seahorse. A thorny seahorse. Oop, there we see a Y ending just like in pygmy. Thorny. A crowned seahorse. This time we see the OW making the owl sound. Crown. Their ED. Crowned seahorse. A lined seahorse. Dwarf seahorse. Pot-belly seahorse. And the Nisna seahorse. With both thorny, thorn E, and bell E. That is a pot belly. You can see that Y making the long E sound. Lots of patterns in the names of those seahorses. Seahorses are many different sizes. The giant Pacific seahorse is 12 inches, about the same length as a ruler. A dwarf seahorse is only 1.5 inches, lots smaller. The white seahorse is 5 inches. Some are as small as grapes. Pygmy seahorse says 0.75. That's a decimal. That means it's less than 1 inch. So if 1 inch is about like that, even smaller than that. Some are as big as bananas. Like the pot-belly seahorse is about 12 inches. So these two are about the same, both about the length of a ruler. But these two are both very small, either just right around an inch, a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. And their names were perfectly picked for them. Dwarf, if you think about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they were smaller, the smaller characters. Dwarf means small. So does pygmy. Pygmy also means small. Seahorses live in warm, shallow water. Now here I see my OW pattern. It's being a little tricky. It doesn't say ow. This time it says O. It says shall O. You were trying to figure that word out for yourself the first time. You might sound it out. Ow. Shall. Get your first chunk. Didn't think it said ow. Shallow. Now that could be a new word you just hadn't heard before. Or it could be that it's a different pattern, like it is. Shall O. This time the O says its name. Remember, you can try more than one way. If the first way you try to sound out a word doesn't work, try another one. So seahorses live in warm, shallow water. Shallow means not very deep. So if we look at the legend here, it says the yellow area shows where seahorses live. So all of these areas that are really close to the land, where their water isn't as deep, that's where seahorses live. Seahorses can live up to 4 years. Seahorses live only in salt water, not in fresh water. Parts of a seahorse's body. A seahorse has a long snout. Ooh, just like we figured out here. Snout. Now here, I noticed another R control pattern. This time, it's an AR. Art. Heart with our S's. Parts. So a seahorse has a long snout is one part of its body. See, a seahorse's mouth is at the end of its snout. And I see the snout is right there, and there's the mouth right at the end, like it said. A seahorse sucks up food with its long snout. The seahorse uses its snout like a straw. Same way we suck through a straw, we have a drink in a cup, they do that to get something to drink for them. A seahorse has one eye on each side of its head. There's the eye in the eye. A seahorse can look at two different places at the same time. That's pretty impressive because it has the eyes on the two different sides of its head instead of right in front like ours. A seahorse does not have, I think that's a pattern you guys can definitely help me with. I see two E's working together. When those two vowels work together, they almost always say E. Help me out. Remember, keep your voice going as you sound it out. Help me out. Together. Eef. Eef. Teeth. Using those patterns to help us read words. Some of the words that I've shown you might have already known, but some of them, like pygmy, I'm guessing are brand new to you. You can still use your strategies to help you get close to figuring them out. There we see the mouth again. A seahorse has fins and a tail. This is the pectoral fins, the dorsal fin, the anal fin, and the tail. A seahorse swims by moving its back fin. A seahorse's back fin moves faster than a person's eye can see. That's pretty impressive. If we were watching it swim, we wouldn't even be able to see it moving. It's moving so fast. A seahorse, I see there another pattern. See if we can figure this one out together. Another R controlled. You might remember that the IR, ER, and UR all make the same sound. So this one's an most of the time. Let's sound it out and see if it is this time. We'll cover up our S and just figure out our base word. Help me out. Earl. Curl. And with our S, curls. See what the seahorse curls. A seahorse curls its tail around things to stay in one place. I see the A saying its name because we have the magic E. It uses that tail to stay in one place. Some seahorses can change color. By changing color to match what's around them, seahorses can hide from enemies. Baby seahorses. A seahorse has many babies at one time. The male, that means the boy, the male seahorse has the babies. That's different from most other animals. The female seahorse puts her eggs in the male seahorse's pouch. Pouch. Can we see that OU used again? Ouch. Pouch. Think of like how kangaroos have a pouch. A little bit like that, where there's a spot that's in front of them. The male's pouch gets bigger as the babies grow. Here we see some labels. This is the male and the female, and that's the pouch. The babies swim out of the pouch when they are born. And there's the young seahorses. This was our first look at our Seahorses book. We went through and used our vowel owl strategy to read new words. Give yourselves thumbs up. We also gained some information that you'll be able to use to make a seahorse of your own. And we'll come back and talk about this book some more next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.